The Philippine justice system has been put under fire for allegedly giving special treatment to politicians who are accused of crimes. This presents the question, how do other countries punish erring public servants? David Santos answers that for us in this report.
When former Taiwan President Zheng Xiubian and his family were convicted and sentenced to prison in 2009 over corruption charges, he pulled out all the stops to protest the court's decision. Chen and his wheelchair-bound wife, Wu Shu-chen, were both sentenced to life imprisonment for misspending $25 million in state funds. Their son was also sentenced for money laundering. In 2013, while detained in Taichung Prison in central Taiwan, Chen tried to kill himself inside a bathroom using a towel. Despite his ordeal, critics say Chen was given preferential treatment in prison. After being ousted in a military coup, Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra was found guilty of conflict of interest in 2008 for brokering the sale of a state property to his wife. He was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment in absentia since he fled to England following his expulsion from power. Former Korean President Chun Doo-hwan was sentenced to death in 1996 by a Seoul court for corruption and mutiny, among several other charges. This was in relation to the former Army General's role in the 1979 coup. His death sentence was commuted to life imprisonment, but was eventually pardoned and released from prison in December 1997. Deposed Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak, along with his 2 sons, were sentenced to prison terms in 2012 for embezzling state funds. During the promulgation of his case, the 86-year-old Mubarak sat in a wheelchair inside a caged bench, while his sons, who wore white prison-issued clothing, listened to their sentence. There were leaders who went to prison for severe offenses. In 2011, former Israeli head of state Moshe Katsav entered a minimum security prison to serve his 7-year sentence following his conviction for sexual assault. After fleeing to Japan, his parents' homeland, former President Albert Fujimori was extradited back to Peru, where he faced charges of human rights abuses. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2009 for authorizing a military death squad during his term's war against Maoist rebels. Fujimori, who suffered from tongue cancer, sought house arrest in 2013. The request was denied after a local judge weighed Fujimori's plea against the enormity of his crimes against humanity. Following the toppling of his regime, Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein was sentenced to die in 2006. While on trial for mass murder, Saddam was detained inside this former villa, which was converted into a maximum security prison. His small room had thick reinforced and multi-layered walls to ensure no one can break him out. Even the ceiling was piled with cement blocks. Saddam's bed was made of concrete, so he will not be able to hide anything he could use as a possible weapon. His shower room was padlocked from the outside. Cameras were installed in corridors and his interrogation room. Saddam was executed just a month after his promulgation. David Santos, Solar News.